This is David Prosper, host of the Leadership Revolution. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast from Public House Media.
You're listening to Ketchup, an official news production of Public House Media.
Today is June 1st, 2020, and it's time to catch up on the news you need to know.
Today we are helping you catch up on what's happening in sports, pop culture, and breaking news.
We're your hosts, Kylie Thompson
and Madeline Cum. Welcome to Catch Up.
On May 25th, Minneapolis resident George Floyd was handcuffed and pinned down by police officer Derek Chauvin. During the arrest, Officer Chauvin began kneeling on Floyd's neck as Floyd stated repeatedly that he was struggling to breathe and needed help. Chauvin and other officers who were at the incident continued to pin him down in this way, and George Floyd died. This swept the nation and caused outrage when a phone video of the entire incident was posted online and went viral. Since then, hundreds of social media campaigns have come out supporting the Black Lives Matter movement. Protests have broken out across the nation, and the world is taking a stand against police brutality. As of Friday, Officer Chauvin has been arrested and is charged with murder and manslaughter, according to the Minneapolis Star-Tribune. This story continues to unfold by the minute, and we're doing our best to stay up to date, so make sure to follow us on Twitter at Time for Ketchup. Moving on to sports, the National Hockey League announced on Tuesday that 24 teams will return to the ice to compete for the Stanley Cup after putting the regular season on hold in mid-March due to COVID-19. The Return to Play Act, the NHL released, states that there will be a 16-team, 8-series tournament with the top 4 teams in each conference to determine the seeds for the Stanley Cup playoffs. The NHL released a statement last week stating that they were aiming to ensure the health and safety of players, coaches, and other essential sports staff, and that the Return to Play Act came to be due to fans as well as players and teams having all requested the season go on. We have Ketchup sport correspondent Max Wolpoff here to help us with more information.
By announcing a 24-team return-to-play plan, the National Hockey League and the National Hockey League Players Association became the first North American pro sports league to put forward a plan of sorts for resuming the season and finishing with a champion. This marks the first time of any North American pro sports league to have some plan in place to account for testing, games played, and where these games will be held, sequestering of players, health and safety, as well as following the guidance of local and city officials. Teams in each state and each Canadian province will begin to open up and go into their practice facilities sometime around July. So there will not be a whole lot of hockey games themselves being played entering into these next couple months, but it is a good sign that there is a plan in place for once these games return, here is what the league is going to do. There has yet to be a plan announced by football, by basketball, and by baseball, or even by soccer for that matter, in the United States and Canada, to bring forward a professional, comprehensive plan that accounts for the safety of every player. However, there will be no fans in attendance similar to return-to-play plans in the German Bundesliga and the English Premier League. So there will be a Stanley Cup champion crowned at the end of this season, and there will be a sense of finality for the 2019-20 season. However, there will not be the same pomp and circumstance that comes associated with the Stanley Cup playoff. That said, with the 24-team return-to-play tournament, it does set up fascinating thoughts about how the 12th place team in each conference still has a chance to make it to and win the Stanley Cup.
Thank you so much, Max. And I know I look forward to seeing what the NHL does with the Stanley Cup. I have missed sports so much, and at this point, I will just take what I can get. So thanks so much for tuning in and keeping us up to date with the NHL. And now let's take it back over to Madeline and find out what she has going on in pop culture as well as with NASA.
On Saturday, the SpaceX Crew Dragon spacecraft departed from Florida and docked 19 hours later at the International Space Station. They joined 3 other NASA astronauts upon docking, which occurred at 12:30 p.m. on Sunday. This comes 9 years after the final space shuttle mission left American soil. While this was a privately funded mission, 10 million looked on, including President Trump, as SpaceX renewed and restored hope that in the midst of crisis, we can truly come together.
Now let's take it over to Margaret Cum, another Ketchup official correspondent.
The joint NASA-SpaceX mission successfully launched at approximately 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday, May 30th. It is the first private crewed spacecraft launched ever. NASA will continue to purchase private spacecraft for its future missions. Astronauts Doug Hurley and Bob Behnken's mission is to test all onboard systems and provide feedback to engineers. The Dragon capsule, named Endeavour after the space shuttle, which actually both Bob and Doug completed their first space flights on, successfully docked to the International Space Station at 10:16 a.m. Eastern Time, Sunday, May 31st. The astronauts are expected to be on board the ISS between 1 and 4 months. They will be conducting research and other tasks with the space station crew. This mission is the first step towards returning to the moon and then sending humans to Mars.
Thank you so much, Margaret. And now let's take it back to Madeline and find out what's happening in the pop culture world.
In the pop culture world, Bachelor Colton Underwood and Cassie Randolph have officially called it quits. It was all roses until both announced on their Instagram profiles the two had officially separated after nearly 2 years together. It's been a crazy few months to say the least. Cass and I have been doing a lot of self-reflecting. Sometimes people are just meant to be friends, and that's okay. We have both grown immensely and been through so much together. So this isn't the end of our story. It's the start of a whole new chapter for us, the former NFL player expressed. He was the same person who was also candid about his battle with COVID-19 earlier this month. Maybe we'll see him on Bachelor in Paradise?
Ooh, I hope so. Now getting into a little bit of happier news. 103-year-old Jenny Stenja from Massachusetts was diagnosed with COVID-19 earlier this month. After making a full recovery from the virus, she celebrated with an ice-cold Bud Light. Jenny has since gone viral online, and people around the world are celebrating her recovery as well as her great taste in beer.
Power to you, Jenny.
Yes, I love it. All right, everyone. Thanks for catching up on today's news with us. I'm Kylie.
And I'm Madeline. Be sure to catch up with us again tomorrow.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts.
We appreciate you listening to Catch Up. For even more content, follow Ketchup Digital on social media. Just search for @TimeForKetchup.
We'd love to hear your thoughts on any of the stories we covered today, so just use the hashtag #PassTheKetchup on social media.
Ketchup is an official production of Public House Media.